What's the theme of us? What are we trying to accomplish today, Ben?
I think the theme here, the mind of Robert Sadin.
That's really I didn't realize it was a horror movie. Okay, how about if we do this? I'm not a big public figure, but there are interviews from time to time. And then what I always have done is to say, listen, I will talk as long as I can talk, and then you can intersperse later the questions that I was answering. I always would say to people, it come up a lot, people would want to talk about the music industry or the music business, and I used to say, well, look, for me, those things exist, but for me, music isn't an industry, it's not even a business, it's like a human need. Let's talk about music making for a minute and recording. Okay, so we started recording, we the human race, started recording in 1900, give or take. And they'd get a bunch of people in a room, they had the horn or whatever, you sang on the horn, they cut a record. And that's how it went for a long time. Even if you did a symphony, they would do it in 3-minute segments, and then they'd stop, then they'd do the next, and then they kind of smush them together. Now, digitally, we have unlimited tracks. So we never have to commit to anything in the early stages. 3 guitars, 30 guitars. We walk in, the engineer presses record, and we don't go out of record till the session's over. And we could record for 3 hours. There's one record where beginning of the record is some playing that was the leader showing someone else the style he wanted to play something in another song. He says, no, more like this. We're running, we got everything. Later I say, that little piece could be an introduction to that other song. And now, of course, nobody remembers he didn't play it there. He doesn't know he didn't play it there. Who could remember? But in any case, what I was getting to, maybe in a long roundabout way, is as we were making the transition into digital, you could correct, quote unquote, any mistake, quote unquote. But now here's the dilemma. Here's the thing. So, okay, we got a performance. It sounds great. Okay, say, can we, she's a little flat on the third note. Can we lift her up a little bit? Oh, that's too much. Just a little bit. Okay, now she's in tune. Okay, now we can do this for a long time. Every single thing we do, it sounds better. Every single thing, so that's an improvement. That's better, that's better. Now we play the whole thing, having made maybe 50 changes. It doesn't sound as good. When did we lose the spirit we had before? What moment in all these changes? But somehow at the end of the day, we've lost something very vital. So Fats Waller, we could put in the real thing later. Okay, so I love this. You can hear Fats Waller just missing a fistful of notes in his left hand, but it's just, forget it. And I don't know how we can ever in the modern era ever get that flavor again, that innocence in a way.
Ain't nothing wrong with tea, babes. Nothing at all.
Obviously, the whole idea of the big corporations is people in the world only exist if we can make money from them. If we can't make money from them, they do not exist. Shared vision, shared experience, shared honoring of certain things. The people who believed in that are at a loss trying to deal with Coca-Cola, who just sees them as a way to make money. Now, I doubt none of you know Das Rheingold by Wagner, do you? Okay, 2 brothers, they're great friends. They get into an argument about whose gold one of them kills the other. Bad enough, and then he turns himself into a dragon and drags the gold into a cave to guard the gold all the time. So that's what money has done to him. It's just a really complicated world we live in. None of these people have been out there. They don't know, not one of them has ever been around the vast mass of America. Not one of them. You look at them, you say, you don't have a chance. By the time you've won over the Gay Rights Coalition and the reparations thing and the Democratic Socialists, who are your activists who are going to get out the vote, who are going to be active? you can forget about Pennsylvania and Ohio, or at least that so-called white working class. They don't want to hear just social justice, fairness, equality. And if you even say it, they say, no, fuck that. So now you've got an impossible coalition. Come on, that doesn't happen in the Republican Party. Abortion's murder, great. It's all the same. They all feel the same things. And then when you go back to the Mercers and fucking all these, and the Koches, are fine. Tell them whatever they want to hear. Who cares? Give them whatever bullshit they want. So that's the basic problem of the Democratic Party. It's funny because there's so many transitions. We're just talking, right? But yeah, Williamsburg, or this area, this is considered North Williamsburg. In my household, when we were looking for someplace to live, I had a young son and my companion, Laura. Now, when we moved in here, which is early 90s, it was entirely Italian. There was no one else on our block that hadn't lived there forever. Their grandparents grew up there. This house had been in their family for 80, 100 years. Next door, that way, the Napolitano family, first family of crime in Rhode Island. They're like super mafia family. When she died, apparently I was not there, but the funeral must have been quite something because it was all the neighborhood church people, and then all these limos showing up, and then on the sideline, the FBI taking pictures. Anyway, then finally, prices were going up, and now a new generation of people started to come in. It's been slow to change. If you go to there's still a lot of the old neighborhood left. But one of the things I love, we've got just a tremendous range of people, and I like that. I grew up when I was very young. I lived in the Bronx in a neighborhood that reminded me of that. The Little Fugitive, and that came out when I was a kid, and I was like 8 or something. We decided. I saw it in the local theater. I just loved it then.
You're the man of the family now.
I don't want to be the man of the family. I want to go to Corniana with the fellas.
And the interesting thing is, this movie made a huge impact. The guy never made another movie, but he said something very touching, which I would remark to all of you. He said, I'm very happy about that film. That seems like a big accomplishment for one lifetime. And I love that because it's like, keep writing, keep filming, keep doing, which is true. I'm sure that's true. But it's also the question of what's expected to be a success in the world. There's a guy you don't know, Bunky Green. Bunky Green's a saxophone player. And we could stop 1,000 musicians in New York and 4 of them would have heard of Bunky Green. But he's great. At a certain point, he went to Florida where he teaches there. He's old now. That takes a certain kind of, how can I put this? I think it's very important. What I'm saying is very important. I find it hard to find the words. Okay, so this is what I would say. Yes, the idea is you keep getting better as you get older. That's a rare quality. When you lose that quality in favor of getting along, you lose something, and it's something very precious. I'm ready for a question.